Can you feel the tension in the air right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plums, getting all swollen, with a light blue hue to them, fresh and juicy, ready for the picking.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Rise and grind on this Monday. Yes, Monday morning. Nobody likes Mondays, but I'm off today. Back to the grind tomorrow, but it's still a rise and grind for everybody out there watching this video. Have a good, safe day. I know Mondays are bad. I can't wait for the day where I wake up on a Monday and I don't have to go to work. We still are a few years away from that, but today we're not working. Big time, busy last 3 days. I did have plans to upload some content, give you my thoughts on multiple games yesterday. But where I was at, my phone literally said SOS. Shit out of service. I don't know. It was bad. Like the golf course that we were at is tucked kind of right near where Isaiah Pacheco lives, kind of back. He tucked away. No service. None at all. None. I tried to upload that little video. I recorded that like noon yesterday. So you're watching that now. Obviously, we saw what happened with all the games. We'll break down the Cowboys. I will do a live stream. I got to run right out. We got to drop all the boys and my tuxedos off at the Tux place. So we got to drop off a few things. But I will be back at some point. We'll do a lunchtime chat live Zoom crew. I want everybody's input. We'll talk about the good. We'll talk about the bad. Again, this is a joyous occasion for me yesterday. Not so much with the football, but again, shout out, right? I didn't see any of the Eagle game. I know most of the people that were at the wedding are all Eagles fans, so they were keeping me updated. Like I said, we could talk about the Eagles later, on the live stream, but the Eagles aren't going to beat themselves for the most part. The game basically played out the way I said. I said a close Rams win, and albeit for some crazy Jordan Davis. Shout out to Jordan Davis. He's making himself a lot of money. Thank you, Jordan Davis. You're helping yourself out, brother. Making yourselves a lot of money. Back-to-back blocked field goals. That don't happen. That's a crazy way to win, but shout out. Listen, they're not going to beat themselves. You're going to have to. The Eagles are like a damn Dracula. No offense, Nick Sirianni, but the Birds are like a damn vampire. You got to stick a stake through their heart. And Sean McVay, again, I didn't see much of the game. When we talk about the Cowboys in a minute, I didn't see the game. I did come home late last night. I watched on YouTube TV. They have a great feature where you can watch all the key plays. I'm going to look at the stats basically for the first time as I do this video. But congratulations to the Eagles. Again, Jordan Davis, monster game. And they're not going to beat themselves. Jalen Hurts, you say he's not this, he's not that, but he wins. So, it is what it is. Suck it up, people. I know I had a lot of people that were happy at the wedding. It really didn't affect me either way. I'm there for my son. Dallas needs to worry about Dallas. Like I said, Dallas needs to worry about them. The Commandos got the job done in impressive fashion. Per the scoreboard, I really don't know. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to rely on all my guys during the Zoom crew to come in and really let me know, because I'm not going to have time to watch. I got a lot of running around to do before I go back to my appointed rounds tomorrow. But so we got Washington winning, we had the Eagles winning, and we had the Giants. Sorry, Jesse Montanez. We had the Giants losing. Again, I think Jackson Dart will soon be the starter. Again, we kind of predicted this. I'm really curious as to why they can't get the ball to Malik Neighbors more. As much as I like Cam Scatterboo, I think you got to get Devin Singletary involved and Tyrone Tracy. I think they need to switch to the more run-dominant. Run. And I think the schedule is not going to allow that to happen. So the Giants lost. But this Dallas Cowboy postgame is about the Chicago Bears hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it's funny. I changed up and I said, well, I think the Dallas can and should win the game. I believe it is a choking situation. Now, when you look into the numbers, Dallas dominated in a lot of areas, except the important areas, right? Well, not all the important areas. But first, I want to hear our coach, okay? I like him, okay? I used to love him. Now I like him. Again, I have an issue with some of his post-game comments. So let's, I want to play that for you, if I can find it. I want to play that for you, and here we go.
Coach, your thoughts on the offense after you lost CD? How difficult was it to get something going?
Well, I thought, the bigger thing for us was, we were running the ball really well early in the game, and, the score kind of got away from us a little bit. We come out at halftime, we're only down 10, and we get start of a drive, and I think that was the bigger issue. Certainly you lose a player like CD, it affects you. But again, we just didn't play well. We really didn't, and told the guys that. And this could be a humbling business. If you don't take care of business, you don't play well, then you're not going to win. And what I pointed out to the guys very clearly was, we got to stop giving up big plays on defense, and we got to stop turning the ball over on offense. I mean, it's a bad formula. But, we have played 3 out of 17, did not play well tonight, certainly didn't play well enough to win. Give them credit. They did a good job, and they were better than us tonight.
You've been talking about it the last couple of weeks. Is it communication today, or what do you think it was?
Same thing. Diggs slips down on the one. He just stumbles. The flea flicker, we're right there, and it's like, whatever. But we did have a guy jumped up one time on a low route, let the guy get it.
Hold on. Check.
Stop giving up big plays, explosives, and we got to protect the football.
I'm going to have to stop this because it's not allowing me to pause the video. Again, we don't need it. I don't know if it's an update or whatever. Here's the deal. He goes on to basically make excuses. Again, you got to call out what's going on. Diggs is a shell of himself right now. Okay, we heard he had an ice pack on his knee. Eberflus is insistent upon playing a scheme that has gotten torched the last 2 weeks against Caleb Williams, hadn't won a game, and the New York Football Giants still hasn't won a game. Literally 1-5 record now. Giants 0-3 and the Bears 1-2. And 1-5 record. These are not good quarterbacks, yet we are getting torched. I put Rome Odunze in my starting lineup because I knew without Bland in the lineup and with Diggs, obviously the knee's not ever going to be right. Now, again, we've been calling for a man, right? This is on me. We've been calling for a man. Get up in there. Well, okay, he got up in there, and he got either pushed to the ground, shot, he said he slipped, whatever. I didn't see the play, but from what I'm hearing, he kind of got punked to the ground. So if you can't even do that, then what are we talking? I think, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope that Diggs... My future is Diggs to play safety, but Diggs may not be around after this year. Again, not for long in the NFL. Again, not for long. But the important thing is CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb got hurt early in this ball game. As it turned out, it's a high ankle sprain. He thought he could go back in. I'm getting some conflicting reports here. We got... John Machota, literally 52. Let's see here. Let me see. Johnny Matches. Let me see here. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, he doesn't say nothing. Let me see. Patrick News. See. Update on Cowboys wide receiver. This was 12 hours ago. CeeDee Lamb's ankle injury, which does not appear to be serious, as Lamb absolutely believes he'll be back on the field week 4 against Green Bay. But then I get a text from a group chat, Joe DeMasi and Ultra, basically saying the rap sheet with an update on CeeDee Lamb, which I don't believe this because it's awful early at this point, but I could be wrong. He says it's a high ankle sprain with a timeline that's usually around 4 to 6 weeks. I believe that is not accurate, if I had to say it. But stay tuned for the live stream later. Just please stay tuned. But, listen, we're going to see. We really don't know at this point. But let's dig into it. First and foremost, final score 31 Bears, 14 Chicago. All right, let's share it a little bit. 31-14. All right. Dak Prescott, 31 for 40. Yeah, I don't like that. 6.3 yards a pass. That's a dink and dunk. 1 TD, 2 INTs. Only sacked twice. It seemed like it, when I watched the highlights, it seemed worse, but not horrible. 2 INTs. I saw the one off of George Pickens, who did have a meltdown, it seemed like, on the sideline. We're going to talk about all this later. And you guys can really explain more what happened in the game. So that one wasn't his. The one in the end zone, you got to remember, it's 4th down. He can't take a sack. That's good defense. Guys need to get open. Bad play calling. Here's my issue with Brian Schottenheimer. Okay, when you dig down deep, Javonte Williams, 10 rushes for 76 yards, 7.6 yards a carry. Miles Sanders, 9 for 41, 4.6 yards a carry. All right. You get all the way down the field, you get 1st down and goal, and you pass the ball 4 straight times. Now, Brian Schottenheimer, you're calling the plays, sir, right? You're calling the plays. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Run the football. This needs to be a run-first team. It makes the game easier. Run the football. Now, again, I don't know all the minutia and all the nuances of what happened yesterday. Again, live stream later. We'll talk about it. I need people to fill me in. I would like to watch the game, but I don't know that that's going to be able to happen today. And, this YouTube thing is time sensitive. I am back, people. I am back on the regular. Family obligations will always supersede anything YouTube or anything else for that matter. Please tell me in the comments below. Tell me what the heck happened. Why are we passing? You're running. No, listen. Javonte Williams, I did see the highlight where he ran down the field. The ball was kind of slipping, and it was taken out. Great play by the defense. You need to have better ball security. That's a kind of freak thing. The George Pickens off of the hands, literally off of the hands, into a Terrell Edmonds diving play. You got to catch the ball, George Pickens. I did see a meltdown on the sideline, and then he's a bad guy. Yeah, he wants to win. He's trying to play for a contract. There's a lot going on with George Pickens. Again, you see, without CeeDee, who got hurt early in the game, that I believe it's the play caller. I believe he needs to do a better job. You need to identify, right? I think Mingo coming back after week 4 is going to help. I do believe that. Jalen Tolbert is hit or miss with me. I know we caught the 2-point conversion. But I guess, like I said, I really don't know. And I want to keep this rather short because I do got to go out and do a few things. But just, again, a Kavante Turpin 1 for 4. Now, I heard that CeeDee got hurt on a run play, but I don't see any rushing, so I'm a little bit confused. Jake Ferguson, 13 for 82. That's a dink and dunk. George Pickens, 5 for 68 and a touchdown, 13.6 average. Seems like he had a good game other than that one interception that really cost him. That's why you run the football. Jalen Tolbert, 3 for 24 with an 8. Cavante Turpin, 2 for 64, 32 yards average. Get the ball to Turpin more. I mean, I don't understand. Run the ball with Javante. Again, I don't understand why Hunter Lepke's not in here. If you're going to pay him that money and you're not going to get him in the offense at all, then what are we doing? Why are we sitting Jadon Blue? Why are we, like some of the things that we're doing, I don't understand. I don't understand why Hunter Lepke's not touching the effing football at the goal line, along with Javante. I don't understand. Enough with this, there's a gleam bullshit, right? Enough with it, shoddy. Enough. Simplify the game. Simplify. And then at the end of the game, look at what the Eagles are doing. Eagles supposedly lost Lane Johnson. Again, I don't know. I didn't see shit. I know I'm going by what these people are telling me at the wedding. That they lost Lane Johnson and they needed Jalen at the end of the game to get him in position. And then they passed the ball. But again, you have to go to the dance with what got you there. You have to go, and you got to run the football. You were running it at a great clip. I don't understand, especially when CD goes down. Run the effing football. Okay, Don, I'm looking at all these tackles. Let me just look at the Bears. Caleb Williams, 19 for 28, 298. 10.6 average as opposed to Dak 6.3. That's how good CD is to the Cowboys. But that shouldn't stop your offense when your Dallas is averaging 7 yards a rush. And then you pass the ball 4 times at the goal line. I don't understand. Please, speak some clarity. Is this a coaching thing on offense? I'll get to the defense. Trust me, we'll get there. DeAndre Swift, 13 for 33 with 2.5 yards a carry. The Bears did not run the football. They did not. Receiving, Luther Burden, 3 for 101. That tells you explosive. They didn't give up a lot. It was just explosive plays. It doesn't take much. If you're scoring in 3 plays or 2 plays, 5 plays or less, it's going to get ugly quick. Roma Dunze, only 3 for 62. 20.7 average. These are explosive plays. DeAndre Swift, 3 for 45, 15-yard average. Explosive plays. Colston Loveland, 1 for 31. These are explosive plays, everybody. Explosive plays. Tremaine Edmonds. He was out there. We could have got him. 15 total tackles, 6 solo. Again, we made the Bears, Kevin Byard, 7, 5 solo. We made the Bears look like world beaters, and they're not very good. That's the alarming thing. And I had them at 1-2 before the season. I had them losing next week. I hope I'm wrong, but without CD, you can't win, in my opinion. If this coaching staff is not going to if this coaching staff's not going to change up, we're running the ball great. But let me dig into the numbers first downs, Dallas 23, Chicago 19. Passing first downs, Dallas 14, Chicago 11. Rushing first downs, 6-7. Okay. Looks like Chicago had a lot of thirds and shorts based on their yardage. But again, you guys will have to tell me later. First down from penalties. Dallas got 3. Chicago got 1. Third down efficiency. Well, this ain't good. 3 for 11 as opposed to 8 for 14. There you go. That's a big stat. Fourth down. We were 2 for 3. Bears were 1 for 1. Total plays, 67-57. Total yards, Dallas out-yarded them, 396 to 385. Total drives, even at 10. Passing, 275 to 298. Okay, close. We made Caleb Williams look great. I told you I liked Caleb Williams. But all due respect, over the last 2 weeks, you saw if you have quarterbacks who aren't very good that are doing this, what do you think Jordan Love's going to do? Right? I don't know. Dallas, 34 for 45. What are we doing? What are we doing here, Shoddy? What are we doing? Chicago, 19 for 28. Yards per pass, here we go, 5.9 to 10.6. The numbers tell me that you're running the football. So why are we throwing the ball 45 times? I thought you were a run-first guy, Shoddy. I thought you were a run-first guy, Shoddy.
Go, shorty.
Go, Shorty, my ass. Sacks, okay. Dallas gave up 2 sacks. We got no pressure, okay. Rushing, 121 to 87. Okay, you should be in football games unless you give up explosive plays on defense. Yards per rush. We averaged 6 yards a rush. They averaged 3. We doubled them up. You need to win the game. Penalties, 4 for 25, 6 for 41. Close. Look at that. Turnovers. We're turning the ball over at an alarming rate, and we're not getting turnovers. Okay, you had the Javonte Williams where he stole the ball. That's on Javonte. You got to have better ball security, but he thought he was going out of bounds. That was a freak thing. George Pickens, catch the effing football. Dak Prescott in the end zone on 4th down. You got to unload the football. You can't throw a turnover and a touchdown, but it was 4th down. Is what it is. And then you had Joe Milton at the end of the game. 4, that's not good. Fumbles lost. We talked about it. Javonte. Interceptions thrown. 3. Again, the one to Pickens wasn't Dak's fault, but you get credit for it, brother. The one in the end zone, in the red zone, that's on you, Dak. I mean, you got to find a guy or you got to run. You got to do something. Sorry. You got to take the hit on that one. And then Joe Milton. Time of possession, 32 to 27. Everything lined up. Team stats, bottom left. Let's 251 to 298. The 31 for 40 is alarming. But I think you see, and like I said, I'll get more context from the actual people in the comments, please. But and on the live stream later. You're throwing the ball too much. Javonte Williams, 10 carries. DeAndre Swift, 10 for 76. Come on, brother. Give him the ball. Give him the rock. That was a freak thing. Receiving, Ferguson, Burden. Again, only on. Burden had 101. Explosive plays. Only 1 sack in the game. We're not getting to the quarterback. Terrell Edmonds, 15 solo. 15-6 solo. Donovan Wilson, full box score. I don't think I need the full box score, but let me just go back down here. All right, our team stats. We out-yarded them. We out-turnovered them. We out-first downed them. We were the better end on penalties. 4th down wasn't bad. Red zone, 1 for 4, 2 for 3. Seemed like Chicago was scoring outside of the red zone. So, again, it's let me go back to center here. Please explain why we're doing this, but look, why are we the way we are? Why are we the way we are on offense? I don't care if we have all of our stars. How you complement them and how you can overcome injuries is by running the football. But again, if you can run the football, but if you're only getting field goals, and I did notice that we got a couple field goals as opposed to touchdowns. We relied too much on the field goal for my money, but it is what it is. On the road, I think you take the points early. That's fine. Our defense, we're not getting sacks, right? We're stopping the run. We're not really putting a lot of people in the box. We're stopping the run with 4. That is really good. And 5. Sometimes there are, from what I saw, there were not just 4, but we're stopping the run. You would think we just got to not let up the explosive plays. This is the scheme that we're playing. Something has to change, people, or it's going to get ugly quick. We can't help injuries. Injuries are a part of the game. Everybody's suffering injuries. CD, I don't believe it's going to be what Rap Sheet is saying. I think Rap Sheet sucks. Just my opinion. So I think that there's a chance for CD to play this week. If not, then okay, next man up. Stop making the excuses. We need to run the football anyway. You went out and invested a big time pick for George Pickens. George Pickens. Get him the effing for scheme it up, Shoddy. Run the football. And if they're going to creep into the box to stop your run, that only helps your team. Kavontae Turpin, Jalen Tolbert. Let's get people involved. Hunter Lepke. Let's go. Let's work some 12 personnel. Think outside the box, brother. But, make no mistake. The reason why we're losing is our defense, not the defensive line, our secondary, not our front seven, our secondary. Okay. Trayvon Diggs, no Deron Bland, who I think will be back versus Green Bay. Maybe after week 4, we should start seeing Savon Ravel. Me personally, I'm not going to sit there and rely on Ravel to be the end-all, be-all because he's a rookie. I'm excited about the player, but I'm not putting that kind of expectation. We got the Kalen Carson coming back. Again, the explosive plays is what's killing us. Now, please put in the comments. Please put in the comments what you think happened in this football game, because I did not watch it. I'm going by stats. I'm going by just a few of the texts that I received. I will do a live stream later this afternoon. Make sure your bell notifications on. You're frustrated, but not surprising. I did think they would score more than 14 points, but when you see the way the game played out, I need some clarity, because it looks like we were running the football. We were stopping the run. Why are we running the ball 4 times at the goal line? I don't know. You can't and I will say that we have a lot of drop passes or tipped balls. So guys are getting paid a lot of money to catch the football. I made a comment to Primetime Phil that maybe the Dak's throwing the ball too hard, but come on, man. Catch the football. Put more stickum. I don't know, but something's got to change. But anyway, that's it. I got to go. I got to go do some errands, drop off the tuxes, drop off. I got to go ship a few things. We will be doing something later. Please put in the comments. And again, Eagles are 3-0 right now. Washington's 2-1. Dallas is 1-2. And the Giants are 0-3. I kind of had that. I do have Washington overtaking Philly at some point, but Philly's winning games Philly has won games that I didn't think they would win. So shout out to the Birds. Birds are doing what they got to do. Seems like they're calling there's been a lot of heat on the Eagles, their play calling, but if you're winning, I think it reminds me of 2023 because they really should not have won the game yesterday. But their championship pedigree rises at the end. You have to stick a stake in them and beat them. Sean McVay, shame on you. Stop settling for field goals if your offensive line can't hold up, especially in the middle. That's where I think we have an advantage as far as in situations like that, because I think our middle is stout, even with Brock Hoffman. That's another thing I need everybody to tell me. How did Brock play? I need to dig into it, and we'll talk about it later. But again, this is a hard one to do, but... How about them Cowboys? Yeah!